Hello, my name is Alexander Shenshin. I'm going to say a couple of words about data modeling in the online shop application that I'm making at HackYourFuture course 28. When it comes to data modeling, we usually turn to entity relationship diagrams to show what the data in our database looks like. Seeing these diagrams helps us to visualize the data, to understand what real-world objects or entities are relevant to our database and how these objects are connected to each other. Here in the right side of the screen, I will show an ERD or entity relationship diagram representing our data and the entities we're dealing with. And on the left side, you can see the corresponding JavaScript code that creates MongoDB schemas. In our application, we are dealing mostly with three main things: users, products, and orders. In the diagram, you see all of them and even some more which are the parts of those three. Each of those entities is represented by the MongoDB schema object that we create in three files: user model, product model, and order model. And these three files represent corresponding entities in our object field. Now I'll say a couple of words about each of them. First of all, we have a user entity which tells us about the particular user. In the upper left corner of my diagram, there is a user box where you can see the names of users' properties and their data types. It describes several properties. I'd like to notice that the user entity consists of only simple data types and does not include arrays, objects, or references to another entities. _ID field here and in the other schemas uniquely identifies each user. Also, this object includes two fields, created add and updated add, representing a timestamp. Time when the user was created and updated last time. Timestamp is also included in other objects of our database: products, reviews, and orders. Next comes the product schema. It has a user field, which is the reference to the particular user who created the current product. This arrow from user to ID shows a connection between product and user objects. Product schema, in addition to fields describing product itself, includes an array of review objects. Those reviews are described in review schema here at the left bottom corner of the diagram. In the program, review schema is inside the product model.js file. Here in reviews, we also have an ID which uniquely identifies the review. Other fields gives us information about the review. And the last one and the biggest one is the order object. It has a foreign key referencing the user who has made an order. An arrow from the user field to ID in user shows the connection between these two entities. Order schema contains an array of order item objects which describe the details of each particular order item. And here is also, order object has the other two embedded objects: shipping address and payment result. Payment result collects data coming from PayPal. It has two IDs. One ID describes payment in our database, and the other is assigned by PayPal API. For now, this is pretty all that I wanted to say. In conclusion, I want to emphasize once again how important it is before we actually start writing our application to have a precise idea about all the data entities we're dealing with, all their properties, behaviors, and interconnections. Thank you very much for your attention.